Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachael for Monday, the 15th of January. Wherever you are, I hope you are bundled up and nice and warm. It is really, really cold here in Alberta. Apparently, Alberta on the weekend hit the 9 out of the top 10 coldest places on Earth. Colder than the Arctic or Antarctica, if you can believe it. Trust me, having lived here, I can believe it. And my block heater seems to have gone, so I am staying put most of this week unless I can get rides somewhere, because my my car needs to be towed into the dealership and fixed. And I imagine I'll be about the 18th person who's doing that today. This incredible cold. It is incredible. But what's amazing is how incredibly people pull together, and how positive people are. See people out walking their dogs real quick. Everybody's bundled up, including the dogs, and then they rush home. I hope to a beautiful fire and a hot toddy or a hot chocolate or something. I have a tea. We did venture out today or yesterday when I was before I recorded this. And I got a tea from Tim Hortons. Biggest reason I actually went out was because Tim Hortons for the 60th anniversary has reissued some of my favorite donuts, like the Dutchie and the Walnut Crunch. So I wanted to skip out and get one before they disappeared, because apparently they're going to be off the shelves. So there you go, my ramble for the morning. I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about the importance of being able to live in the unknown. Last week, as many of you know, I went off on a field trip to Brandon. And if you follow me on Facebook at all, you'll know that I had a blast. I mean, it wasn't always easy. There were moments of a great vulnerability as people shared with me their truth and the way things are, and some of the realities of living in a diocese that is not wealthy. It is reliant upon other parts of the national church. It has its own challenges, but oh my heavens, does it have its own beauty and its own joys. And the people and the clergy that I met were absolutely phenomenal. People who are not in this for the money, although what clergy person is, but certainly not in this diocese. They are there because they are called by God to serve. And some of them serve for free. Some of them are non-stipendiary, we call it. They volunteer as priests. And the incredible tenacity and integrity and faithfulness these people have, it blew me away. And the parishioners, the number of lay people I met through my travels, their love of God and their love of their church and their communities, and the history that they come from, it was palpable. It was beautiful. I was given the gift of seeing some things, like my office at the cathedral, my bishop's office, which was well appointed by my predecessor, and he left lots of awesome bookshelves and an altar in my office and some monitors for the laptop and all kinds of incredible things I'm going to have to learn how to use, for those of you who know how technologically backward I am. But, a real great sense that this is a beautiful place to be. Not well off. We're not rolling in it. This is not an episcopacy that will be known for its grandeur. It will be an episcopacy known for pastoral care and love and integrity and I hope just faithful, hardworking bishop and priests and lay people working together. I got to see my new house, beautiful condo, well appointed with a fireplace that'll be beautiful, built-in bookshelves, a beautiful big room for Rob for his man cave, for his Lego den, his Lego lair, whatever you want to call it. A big place to hang our vestments. So in case you don't know what vestments are, they're the clothing that clergy wear. And some of it is because I'm 5'9" and Rob is 6 feet tall. Some of our clothing hangs well below where you would normally hang a pair of pants or a dress or something. And the bar is way up high, so nothing will touch the ground. It's been well established. Beautiful, beautiful spot. And I'm looking forward to moving there. But at the same time, I'm still in this in-between period and living in this unknown. Now I have a little bit more information to fill in some of the gaps. I've seen the space and met some of the people, just a small little bit of it, but a small little bit of the diocese, small number of people compared to all the people I will meet. But just enough information to make my imagination dangerous. You know what I mean? I'm in that in-between space. I have wonderful people to continue to work with here in Dayspring Ministry. And I have lots of work to do, lots of things that need to be prepared for them as I prepare to leave them in the capable hands of whoever will be their interim priest, and in their hands, they're fully capable, all of them, are of continuing on the ministry of St. Thomas, St. Mary's, and St. Saviour's. I'm not worried about that at all. My concern is how do I let go? And how do I reach out with tentative hands to a new future? And how do I leave my husband behind? Because he isn't posted yet. We're hoping he will be posted in the summer, but he may not be posted. And we may have to do this long distance thing for a while. So there's all kinds of these questions, the living in the unknowing and learning how to trust in the unknowing. I am a very trusting person. Sometimes people have said I've been too trusting. But that's how I live. I can be cynical or I can be trusting. And so I lean toward the trusting because being cynical, I don't think is faithful. Not for me anyway. So the idea of walking out of a comfort zone, out of a place where I know I am loved and I know how things work, and into a place where I know I will be loved and I will eventually figure out how things work, is kind of daunting. In some cases, it's quite terrifying. More so now that I've been there and I've seen how things are going, and I'm beginning to get an idea of how we'll move forward. I thought it might alleviate some of my worries, and I think it's built on them in a good way. Because I know with God's help, I can do all of this. And I know that part of God's help is the help of all of the people that God has placed there before me, that I can lean on and ask direction of and bounce things off of and listen to. So that part is mildly scary, but not debilitating. But also the in between of how do I work. Today I have 2 different companies, moving companies, coming into my home virtually through an app on my phone to show them what parts of the furniture of our house I'm going to have them pack and load and move to Brandon. And it's getting real. And knowing that I don't know what the end state is. I don't know what will happen with Rob. I don't know where my first parish visit will be. I don't know how my first executive committee meeting will go. I don't even know how the consecration will go, the service of consecration. I think probably, if I'm honest, that's the part that scares me the most. But this living in the unknowing, I have learned over the years that I have a nervous personality when it comes to living in the unknowing for me. I am totally cool and totally calm when I'm helping someone else living in their unknowing, because I'm not wrapped up in it. I can see from a different, maybe a more objective perspective. When you're right in the middle of it though, and it's all subjective and all of those imagination things keep crawling in, and the negatives, those things where it's not God but the other who is trying to plant seeds of doubt in my mind, I'm there. But I know if I look back on my life in hindsight that I have been in this place of unknowing, this interim place of unknowing. I've been there 1,000 times. And every single time, God has brought me through it. God has brought me into new adventures and new possibilities, new relationships from which my life has been enriched. New beauty, new gifts and skills, new opportunities to learn have been presented to me because of this interim time of unknowing. And so I need to challenge myself to trust. I need to just be here in this day, sort of one foot in this camp where I still am, and one foot in this camp where I'm going, and sort of straddling that. It's not a fence. It's not really a river. It's just a bit of not no man's land either. It's God's land, where I'm standing here looking down and looking ahead and realizing that on one side I have what I know, and on one side I have what I don't know, but I'm looking forward to. And in between, there's a whole lot of question marks. Sort of looking up ahead, it's like looking at grass, and every blade is a question mark, and every tree is a big question mark. All different sizes and colors, but it's all question marks. And then needing to take a deep breath and know that questions are the way that we grow. Questions are the way that we become more of who we are called to become. Questions are the very things that help us to become, as I just said, who we are called to become. if we don't ask questions, if we just sat down and didn't move, we would wither up and die. So I will not wither and die. I will ask the questions and I will step forward knowing that I'm straddling these two places for the time being, and that's okay. This is the space in which God has called me to be. And for all of you who find yourself in that kind of space, and it could be at your workplace or in your home, maybe you're becoming an empty nester or just having children coming back into your home, wherever you might find yourself in that interim place of unknowing, I encourage you to acknowledge if you're scared, but also acknowledge the hope and the possibilities that might come. If things are not great for you right now, the future might be even better. And that's worth something. If right now the future, the place you're in is awesome, don't assume that the future will be worse. Assume that you'll take the awesomeness with you into your future, and it'll just get better. This place of unknowing, this interim time of unknowing, is never meant by God to be a time of going backward, a time of fear or despair. But indeed, it is a time of growth and renewal and possibilities. So as we venture together, because I have no intention of stopping doing church at home, because you are part of what keeps me moving forward and asking questions, as we do this, we do it together. And please know that as I am praying for myself and for my husband, for my 3 congregations and my however many congregations I'm about to take over as their bishop, I am also praying for you, for your futures, for those of you who comment and let me know who you are, and for those of you who don't, because when I pray all of those things that God intends, that all of those, for all those people that God knows but I may not know. And trust me when I say I am praying for you. So whether you are comfortably ensconced in the position you're in, or you're about to finish out of that interim time, that interim land of unknowing, and enter into your future, or you're like me, planted right dead set in the middle, please know that you aren't alone. I am right there with you, and I am praying for you. And better yet, God is right there with you, guiding and directing you if you are willing to listen and follow God's will. Have a great day, everybody. I will check in again tomorrow with Church at Home with Rachael for Tuesday. Stay warm, stay safe.